What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
All right, well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for joining us here today, Lions Talk Live, morning show edition, and it is Friday, I guess a little bit more than 48 hours away from game 2 of the NFL season. As you can tell from the thumbnail from this video, I think we need to give a little bit more credit, praise, and acclamation towards Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, basically everybody with the Detroit Lions organization, because I do believe they found a loophole that they began using late last year, continued this year, and you know what? It seems to be giving us a huge advantage. You might not notice it without paying attention to it, but we're going to dive into that. Just so you guys know, also at the bottom of the hour, it is Friday, so Kurt the Hitman Steele, the living legend himself, will be joining us to talk about the loophole and perhaps a little bit about the Bucs versus Lions. So before we get into all that, though, you guys know there's a few things to jump into first. First, off the top, if you can, help us with the subscriptions. If you guys know, we're doing a fundraiser this week. After the end of the Bucs-Lions game, we're going to end the week-long charity donation event. So for every new subscriber we got during this week, we're going to donate $1 to charity. We're closing in on 7,900. I want to say we're like 3 or 4 subs away from it, something like that at least, right in that area. So 4 subs, and then we're marching towards 8,000 at the point. So we are 104 subscribers away from hitting the gold. So if you can help out, please do so. Also, while you're doing that, if you could consider hitting the thumbs up button, the like button, you guys know out if you've watched YouTube for any length of time, helps the channel out exponentially. So take a moment of time. It's free of charge. Hit that thumbs up button if you would, por favor. Last but not least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, perhaps you'll give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Let me see what I can do to use over 30 years in the industry to your behest, save you some time, some money, some hassle, some aggravation, all of the above. Maybe find some loopholes to help you out as well. So give me a call, shoot me a text. If you're outside the state of Michigan, you can still contact me. Just have to do some things a little bit differently. All right, with all those formalities out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the first topic of the day, and that will be 5 headlines now. If I can find it. All right, starting things off here with a little bit of a sad note for Lions fans everywhere. Joe Schmidt, you guys all probably know who he is if you've been a Detroit Lions fan for any length of time. The Hall of Famer, former middle linebacker who, just went to the Pro Bowl regularly, also coached the Lions for a number of years. He has passed away, unfortunately, yesterday at the age of 92. He had a stellar career. You know, he came out of college knowing or having a rep from the University of Pittsburgh for being often injured. He was not very injured in his long-time NFL career. I think he only missed 10 games at the NFL level, played for 13 seasons, won a NFL championship in 57. He was drafted right after the Lions won their championship, one of their championships in the 50s in 1953, and then, like I said, went on and won championship with the Lions in 57. A heck of a career, 24 interceptions, 3 defensive touchdowns, 17 fumble recoveries, and a career that spanned 155 games. Remember, back then, they did play a lot less games per season. But the quote from the Lions, he's one of the greatest players in Lions history, and I think that it'd be hard to go away from that. He played a heck of a career. He was put in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 73, and he was a part of the NFL's 100 all-time team. So It's sad news for any Detroit Lions fan. Thoughts and prayers to his family and the Lions fan base. Hopefully they do something, and I suspect they will at Sunday's game. Maybe a moment of silence in recognition of his 10 consecutive Pro Bowls for the Lions, etc. So big loss to the Lions community, and sorry to hear about the news yesterday. All right, moving on from that, we got the why Jack Campbell did not play more against the Rams. Sports Illustrated story by Christian Bohr. So Aaron Glenn, I should say, was asked specifically, why didn't Jack Campbell get out there more? We did see a lot more Rodrigo, I thought, against the Rams than I anticipated. But when you go back and watch it on film, actually Jack Campbell does a pretty good job with things. I also get what Aaron Glenn's saying by taking him out on certain downs, putting in Derek Barnes or Rodrigo, and just seeing how they mixed and matched things around based on what the Rams were trying to achieve on different downs and packages. Also, what the Lions were trying to do to attack in different times. They didn't use Captain Jack as much as a blitzer as I anticipated they would. They did use Barnes, Rodrigo, a lot of different stuff, especially flat coverage. So they mixed them around. I thought they did a pretty good job, but I do think it's a tell that AG wants guys to fit what they're trying to do on that specific package or play. Also, keep the offense a little bit off base. All right, Lions encouraged to trade. Man, when I woke up today looking for 5 headlines down, I'm going to say this. There had to be like 20 different outlets reporting something with the Lions trades. That's why I put in the thumbnail, and on top of the Loophole trade news, because there were so many on these next 2 topics. I was like, wow, is there some sort of news that came out overnight that, man, the Lions are looking to make a trade one way or the other? But anyways, Lions encouraged to trade linebacker who sat out the season opener. The heavy story by Ann Erickson. So I would say this, James Houston, do I think he's honestly going to get traded? No, I don't. I really do not. I do think that there's potentially some room for Houston to help out with this team, get back to what we saw his rookie year. Let's all remember, they didn't have him on the field until there were a ton of injuries. Then they couldn't get him off the field. For whatever reason, he did not play. Could be he's still recovering from the ankle. Could be that they just felt like they couldn't elevate anybody more to the roster. I don't know. I'm not here to speculate on that. But I do not believe the story with the heavy that the Lions are going to consider. And they're not saying they are going to trade him. They're just saying the Lions should consider it. I would disagree. I'd say, hey, finding pass rushers like that, especially ones that can come off your bench, it's tough to replicate that. So I'd keep the ones you have. See, now another trade news. New York Jets edge rusher would be a perfect fit for the Detroit Lions. Sports Illustrated, Nick Ziegler. So again, like I said, there were so many of these this morning. I was like, wow, something must have happened overnight until I read through most of them. And a lot of them are just speculation pieces. We all get it. Hassan Reddick, wants out of New York. I guess that'd be the polite way to say it. It doesn't seem like those two sides are going to come to any kind of agreement. Would he help the Detroit Lions? I'm going to guess most of us would say yes. Does he seem like a fit for the Lions, for this front office, for the coaching staff? That I would probably question, because this would be team number 3, if I'm not mistaken, that he will want to traded from in about 3 or 4 seasons. And a lot of it is because of contract talks, negotiations, etc. I just don't see it happening, but, I've been wrong before. All right, and then last of the 5 headlines now. Does Lions Carlton Davis have revenge on his mind ahead of a matchup with the Buccaneers? ? The Sporting News by Mike Moratis. And I would say revenge, no. I don't think it was a situation where he was upset or felt jilted that they traded him. At least I could be way wrong with this, but I don't have that kind of impression. Now, with that being said, do I think Carlton Davis wants to lose to his former team? Absolutely not. Like most athletes or most people, even though it might have been an amicable, split or whatever trade, I think he also wants to prove to them that, hey, I'm one of the reasons you won that Super Bowl. And you know what? I'm going to be one of the reasons why the Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl this year. So just some food for thoughts. All right. With all those out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the main topic of the day. All right. Had to get a little drink of water there. All right. Main topic of the day. As you guys know, Brad Holmes, he's not dumb. He could be potentially the smartest GM we've ever had. Dan Campbell, I get when he came in and, hey, we're gonna bite the kneecaps and all that jazz. That stuff gets old hearing all the time. But probably a lot of people, national media, man, maybe even some of the fan base thought, man, this guy's kind of just a meathead or whatever, knucklehead. Probably pretty decent, give us some speeches, some rah-rah stuff. Is he really a thinker? And I'm going to give both the guys some credit here because I think what they're doing here, the loophole, let's talk about it. So let's talk about the practice squad because that's really where the strength of this lies. Every team has one. We all get it. Every team's got ever since really COVID came around, we have a practice squad. You can add to the team. So let's review the practice squad. You can bring up 2 guys from the practice squad per game. That aids your team. Why? Because you're restricted how many guys you have active on a given day, 47. But now you get to add 2 guys from the practice squad. Most teams' practice squads aren't the greatest. They're nowhere near the level of the Detroit Lions, especially this year. But now let's also review it. 3 times per season, you can bring somebody up. So what happens is once you bring that player up, you've started their window where, hey, all right, I brought him up this game. Let's just say the first 3 games of the season. Now you have to make a choice. You either are going to have to sign him to the 53-man roster or you can cut him, waive him. What happens when that takes part? Another team could sign them, but not so fast. If that person's a vet, has more than 4 years in the league, they can go wherever they want. They are not restricted to the waiver wire. They can negotiate with any team, which means they could just return to the Detroit Lions practice squad if they so choose, and now they have another 3-game exemption where they can be brought up to the practice squad. Why does this matter? Because if notice we'll just use this season so far. Look at who they brought up last week. The Lions had 52 guys on the 53-man roster. Yes, they signed Chris Smith that occupied that 53-man roster spot. And then after the game, what did they do right away? They cut him. They waived him. This allowed them the flexibility to move 2 other guys, Tom Kennedy being one of them, up front, to the game roster. And they know if they cut Tom Kennedy, could he go to somewhere else? Absolutely. But as a vested interest or vet with interest in the NFL, he can choose to go wherever he wants. That's why I think the Lions actually are finding a brilliant way to have more like 49 guys on the roster every single Sunday. Why are the Lions practice squad no longer by the coaching staff or the front office called the practice squad? It's called the vet squad. Why? Because just about everybody on that roster is a vested vet. They no longer, the Lions, not like a couple years ago where they would keep some younger players on it that, yes, Dallas or some other team could call up and say, hey, we really like this guy. We're just going to claim him off your practice squad and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, you can protect 4 guys, but you can't protect everybody. The Lions have gone the route of mostly all veteran players who supersede the 4-year roster exemption. So they know, and they probably already work it out with them, that yes, we're going to bring up a younger player, probably one of the 4 protected players, to the 53-man roster. Nobody can snag that player now. But now we're going to bring up 2 vets. Let's just say Tim Patrick or Allen Robinson or whoever it may be. And we know that we've got 3 games per season with those guys. After those games, we can cut them, waive them, put them right back down the practice squad. They still get paid. We've basically effectively turned the 53-man roster into don't hold me to the math here, but we'll say a 68-person roster, maybe it's 70. And that just gives them a huge advantage because think about all the flexibility now have with injuries, depth at different positions. Man, why are we only carrying 4 receivers? Are we really only carrying 4 receivers? Or do we actually have 7 that we know we can bring up 1 or 2 guys any game and there's no problems with it? I think it was a brilliant move by the team. I think you're going to see more and more teams throughout this year and probably the next couple of years look at what the Detroit Lions have done, and they're going to mirror it, copy it, and make that how they conduct business. Which also means at some point in the future, I won't be surprised if the NFL makes a rule adjustment because of it. But for right now, you're doing what good coaching, good front offices do. You find your way to get an unfair advantage and use it to your team's advantage. Just like, they did last year with pre-snap motion and stuff and how they made some adjustments to it. Different teams force the league into making changes. But until that change happens, you're the Detroit Lions. You keep using this unfair advantage. All right, we've got about 16 minutes until Kurt Steele, the living legend, gets over here. So let's go over to the Duke crew and see what you guys have to say about the trade gates or trade thoughts, about loophole rules. Hey, maybe even the Bucks, because you know what? end of the show, you guys got to remind me. I will give you my updated score prediction. All right, Mike D, what do you got? Greetings and salutations, Coach and Duke crew! Exclamation points. Superdome, Super Bowl, one pride. Woo, woo! And good morning to you too. Jason, top of the morning, Duke crew. 2 more days until another victory. 36-17, Superdome or bust. I'll take that score. And yes, I think we're gonna say so, there might be some similarities there. Let's see, JDC, good morning, all. Good morning to you too, Big Eye. Michael, 24-21, Lions, go Lions. Oh yeah, and man, a close game, but you know what? It's a win, so we'll take it. Bo, good morning, Duke crew! Exclamation point, home of the Cy Man Dan. There we go. Woo! We'll go with that. And good morning to you too, Bo. John, awesome morning to you all. Great Duke crew. There you go. It is a great crew that do. I'd say, Patrick, greetings and salutations all. I kind of wonder what loophole we are talking about here. But my score prediction for this week is Lions 35, Tampa Bay 7. Dang, that would be a great performance by the D. And yes, that would probably make a lot of people feel pretty good about the defense, where it's at, where it's getting to. I actually don't think they played bad last week. It's just I'm giving more and more credit for the Rams keeping things around or keeping themselves around in the game. John, no prediction score, just a Lions win. I'll take that. See, Patrick, any loophole is a great loophole as long as it's to our advantage, laughing out loud. And it is. I think they've done a phenomenal job with it. Clark, what is going on, Duke crew? Question mark. Holmes is clearly the best GM we've had. I would agree. He's standing out more and more. I used to say that maybe there were some arguments for the early 90s, mid-90s, but at this point, I think Brad Holmes has pretty much slammed the door on it. He is, without question, at least since we'll say the 70s forward, the best GM ever, because I don't want to detract from anybody who won multiple, league championships and stuff like that back in the 50s. All right, Hookadoo, good morning, Coach Dan and the Doobie Doo crew. What one pride, roar, Detroit Lions, all of the above, and good morning to you too, my friend. John, remember who you hire matters. It does. You put people in a position, you need them to be able to do that position. All right, Bo, loophole, question mark, like hanging from the gallows, Bo, probably all the above. Let's see, John, are there any updates on the injury report? So it sounds like, at least according to the update we got last night from the Detroit Lions after practice, there's still some injuries. Kirby Joseph returned. Penei Sewell, Davenport were still out yesterday. Although I will be fair, I do believe Penei Sewell is going to play. I just think they're giving that ankle as much recovery time as possible. I could be totally wrong. Maybe he's out for a week or so, but I suspect he'll play. Davenport, probably a little bit more of a question just because of his history, unfortunately. With a groin injury, man, that's tough. That's tough on anybody, and they can take a long time to heal, but hopefully it's nothing big. Other than that, I know if he was out in practice field, I just still think with the Achilles, I mean, maybe he's active this week. I don't know, but I would hope so just because, like I said, Kirby Joseph's got the hamstring injury. He returned to practice yesterday on a limited basis, so I guess we'll wait and see what today's updates are. Eddie, greetings and salutations, everyone. So glad football is back. The weekends just have more meaning. Yeah, I would agree with that. Everybody looks forward to Sundays now. Let's see. Rich, DJ Reader is going to feast on the Buccaneers. Woo! And I would agree. I think he's going to be noticeably different for the defensive front of the Detroit Lions. Now, how much that affects everybody else, we'll have to wait and see. And what kind of gas does he have in the tank? Because to be fair to him, it takes a while to get back into quote-unquote football shape. If you guys watched the live cast last week, I was saying in the second half, I thought both teams, especially the defensive fronts, looked pretty tired. So give the Lions a lot of credit for getting some stops late in the fourth quarter to set up a comeback win. Because that those defensive linemen, especially Hutchinson, watching him as many snaps as he got, Davenport as many snaps as he got. I mean, we'll just say everybody in the front seven. Those guys most responsible for putting pressure on Stafford and stopping any running plays, they look pretty gassed. I actually thought it was an error by the Rams with 3 minutes to go to not run the ball more because we did look tired. But to be fair, with their offensive line kind of beat up, maybe it wasn't a good idea for them. I don't know. You can always second guess things, I guess. All right, France, good day all. I'm really looking forward to seeing our defense against the Bucs offense this game. reading out there. I think you mean reader, probably at least out there. Hopefully with Davenport, Aleem, and Hutch. Yeah, if we get all four of them out there, it'll be great to see what that front looks like. Some great things happened in the spring of 1941. First, my dad was born at Henry Ford Hospital. Two, the Lions were born in the city of Detroit in spring of 34. Oh yeah, I know. That's awesome that your dad was born back then. I know my dad was born in the 20s, so 1920s, so 1920s, 1930s, a couple days ago. JDC, coffee. The coffee you drink while listening to Lions Talk Live. I think that's a great marketing opportunity there. Somebody needs to take advantage of it, not me though. Let's see. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Already working this morning, so I'm mostly having to listen in today. Go Lions. Hey, we'll have a great day at work. Hopefully it's an easy day for you at work. JDC Magic 8 Ball says Lions 30, Buccaneers 19. I'll take that. Papa, who is our fifth receiver going to be this week? That I don't know. We probably have to wait till the actives, inactives. At least that'd be my anticipation on Sunday. John, right on Hookadoo. Bo, TK85 is number 5. It might be again. Bo, in all seriousness, Tim Patrick, if he's learned the playbook enough, I think there's a real possibility it could happen. But again, wait and see. We all know there was TK85. He was elevated first week, so he does have 2 games left before they would have to cut him, release him, and let him recycle through to the team. Paul, good morning, boys. Back at you. Let's see, Quentin, greetings, salutations, y'all. I'm thinking the offense gets going more this game. 34-20 Lions. Could be, and I hope you're right. John, I predict a whole lot of thunder and lightning. I like that prediction. The good weather forecast. JDC Magic 8 Ball says Jared Goff gets 11 yards rushing. Man, he has become a scrambling man. Amy, I have been trying to see if they can do something about this. The lady at Lions HQ said they had never had complaints like this. I said most folks just deal with it. Please call and complain so we can hear. Yeah, as far Amy, I know you and I have chatted about it at the pressers. They've had some, I would say clear communication issues or mic issues with Lions. Hopefully they get it adjusted. JK, you can't outsmart to the one above the NFL, though, which is Vegas. Okay, yeah, no outsmarting Vegas. Yeah, they do seem to know all. So I get what you're saying, JK. Jason, coffee, the official coffee of Lions Talk Live. Get yours today. Must sign a waiver as we have no idea what Hatman puts in that stuff. No, this is true. Yeah, I have no idea what he puts in it, but hopefully it's good. Voltron Force, JDC, laughing out loud. JDC, right on, John. Detroit Lions storm front. Agreed. Amy, what are they asking the speakers at the media events? Again, Lions headquarters is that I don't know. Let's see, Hookadoo. When the thunder rolls, go Lions. I concur. Bo, there's always room for improvement. Goff goes for 12 yards. All right, there we go. David, I hope our defense gets 3 to 4 turnovers. That would be nice. And I do think that's where they're trying to get the defense to do. Get more turnovers, not always stopping yards. Trump, communist cheat. Okay, well, hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's what the Sarge said the other day on the show, and I, to a certain extent, I agree. I don't think Brad Holmes is cheating or anything. I just think, hey, he sees the rules, he sees how it's laid out, he's going to use it to his edge. Let's see, JDC, crazy legs golf. I'll go with that. John, JDC, come on, man. He's going to get 12 yards. Very good. Let's see, Sosimo, good morning, all. Good morning to you, too, by the way. Trump's, woo, there we go. JDC, thumbs up. Jesse, greetings and salutations. Goff will continue his running ways. Make love, Marcelli. There we go. Lamar jealous of, yes, crazy legs golf. Bo, he's bumbling, rumbling, stumbling along Goff. Yes, he is. Tori, just don't be fumbling. I concur. Yeah, keep the ball. GM or AJ, GM, good morning to you too. Bo, Tori, no. Yes, correct. Or mumbling. Hookadoo, Tori, laughing out loud. Broski, or crumbling. Yeah, don't get hit. Don't take those shots. We don't need that. See, Bo, humbling even. There we go. Trey, what's good? All question mark. Let's go this weekend and have a complete game for all 3 faces. Come on, Lions. Yeah, I think last week I would say I was pretty dang happy and satisfied with the special teams. I just didn't think there was really anything to note or even complain about. Offense, you could say, hey, you could see the rust. They had to shake it off a little bit, all that stuff. The defense, we talked about it in the live cast. when they did blitz, you could see there was some miscommunications because too many guys blitzed the same spot, and basically they took each other out of the play. I thought the secondary actually, especially when I got to watch the game and not commentate on it, just watching the coaching film where you can see the field, I actually thought the secondary played pretty dang well. But I'm giving the Rams some credit. The second tier, the linebackers, Anzalone, clearly he's all over the place. He is a man possessed. Derek Barnes, I thought, did well. Rodrigo did well. Jack Campbell did well. Overall, I just thought the defense played pretty dang well. Let's see, Michael, or grumbling. Hey, there we go. Phil, good morning. Good morning to you, too. JDC, I think we covered most of the words. I think you're right. John laughing. Michael laughing. Bo, Tampa Bay is going Blitzburg. I believe they will, too. Only way they can slow us down, JB should be able to take advantage. Ben Johnson, yeah, especially if Tampa Bay is really as beat up in the secondary, is at least today, Friday, it looks like they are. The worry I have if I'm Tampa Bay blitzing so much, and it's one thing if you blitz 5 guys, but if you start doing 6 or something, is you're going to leave a whole lot of one-on-one coverage for Jameson Williams, St. Brown, Laporta, Gibbs out of the backfield, Montgomery out of the backfield, those guys that you could really leave yourself in some bad situations. The other part of it is if they don't feel like they can get to golf without it, then they're risking getting picked apart with a weakened secondary. So flip a coin what they're going to do. JC, one more tumbling. There we go. John, dang. JK, humbling. JK, a.k.a. get humbled. There we are. Bo, JDC, how could we forget? How could we ever forget? JDC, woo, coffee working. I'm starting to vibrate in place. All right. Uncle Buzz, rip Joe Schmidt, one of the greatest ever, 100% with that. And hopefully you saw the morning or my talk at the beginning of the show. Detroit D, greetings, salutations, everyone. Back at you. Hopefully having a great day, my friend, as always. Michael D, thumbs up. JDC, yes. Rip Joe, yes. Captain Joe. Rip, yes. Correct. Bo, rough week for Rips. It was, man. It was. But, some guys that lived pretty good lives. So, JC, getting real in the D, 100%. I concur. Let's see. Hookadoo, Rip Joe. Let's see, Dave, good morning, coach and all. Same to you. Kurt Steele, what up, Do Crew? What up to you, too, Man of Steel? Phil, Friday the 13th. Yes, it is. All good things happen on Friday the 13th. Let's see, Dave S. Woo! Let's see, JK. Yes, Phil, Friday the 13th. Bill, good morning from Maine. Good morning to you, too. Hopefully it's a great day in Maine. Phil, morning, Mr. Steele. Coach Rock, what do you got? Good morning, all. Enjoy watching Joe Schmidt play. Rip, yes. And he's before my time. But yeah, I'm very aware of who he is, and yeah, thoughts and prayers for him and the family. See, Kurt Steele, what up, though, Phil? Phil, I'm not sure what that is. All right, Anthony, good morning, Duke Crew, back at you, Anthony. Hopefully, it's not too hard of a work day for you. See, Phil, there are Duke Crew hats on eBay. Hey, how about that? I have one order. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. See, Casey, God bless America. Grandma's Fried Chicken, Michigan Craft Beer, Deer Camp, and Detroit Lions football. Now, that sounds great to me. JDC, here is something not Chicago Bear related. Buddy Love and the Cheddars. All right, fair. There you go. See, Bo, the knees that go crunch. Correct. Just Rip Hall of Famer Joe. Yes, correct on that. And yes, thoughts and prayers again. See, Phil, Casey, don't forget fishing. All right. Jalen Rosa, we got Lynn Rosa, excuse me. Good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. In the Bucks wide receiver position, are they the same players from last year? Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, except yes, yeah, they are the same rows, and they're going to provide some challenges for this defense, the secondary, etc. I can't wait to see what we do against them. So I think it's a great opportunity for us. The way I've looked at it is, you look at the first few games, including next week when we play the Cardinals. The first several games have some really good wide receiver groups. How do you get this defense, especially the secondary, who's so new and rookie, Terry Arnold, Rakestraw, etc. You get them playing, and that becomes their norm against receivers of that caliber. Man, you're setting them up to do a real good job later in the year, especially when we play the NFC North, etc. Because let's be honest, our division does have some good receivers. I'd see Harold, greetings, salutations, all. Rip Joe, 100%. JK, the Jack Campbell project, he's coming along. See, Man Bear, hello all. Same to you. Hopefully it's a great day. Hatman Jason Berry, the woo coffee is specifically designed to make specifically for Lions Talk Live and the Lions pre-ritual football games. I'll take that. Phil, Houston linebacker. yeah, I would say he's not a linebacker, but hey, to that writer, he was. So one or two more, and then we're going to get the infamous one in here. The one and all, great salutations, great morning, Dan and the Duke Crew. Love the show, so keep it up. Woo! And glad to hear that, man. Thank you for that. Kurt Steele, the Lions DT rotation was needed on Sunday with Raiders still down. Houston will play this week. I hope you are right. All right, so with all that being said, let's get over to our special guest of the day. You guys all know him. You probably watch him. The host of the Boss Up, Ball Out podcast. Kurt Steele, how you doing today?
Hey, and to the Duke Crew and to my man, Coach Dan, how you doing this morning, man?
It is a fabulous day in the neighborhood because let me tell you, we're talking Lions football. We're talking about the possibility about going 2-0 and starting the year off with 2 wins against playoff teams from a season prior.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Let me throw it at you right now. Brad Holmes,
Okay.
Genius, mastermind, evil genius, or what? Because he seems to be taking advantage of NFL rules that are aiding the Detroit Lions.
It goes back to his maturation process in the league. You look at the guy that he came from the Rams. Les Snead is a master at that. You look at some of the big names he had on that team and how they were able to juggle the salary cap and juggle everything. He learned the tricks from the tricks of the trade from Les Snead, and he has his own smarts as well. I can't just discredit, him. He is a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. And he's keeping the Lions relevant. And you look at the report that came out, I think it was yesterday. The NFL released the three youngest teams in the NFL as far as age, and the Lions are number 3 at like 25 years of age. So young team, talented team, and able to juggle the roster the way that it keeps us fresh and relevant and keeps us moving forward with a good mix of veterans and young players that are talented.
Yeah, I think you're spot on that because we all talk about how young, certain teams are in the league. And it does feel like when they bring up the age topic, they talk about Green Bay, they talk about, I think, a couple other teams. They don't always bring up the Lions, at least not this year. But the Lions, like you just alluded to, the vast majority of this team, the strength of the team, really are 3 or 4 years or younger. So there's a lot of potential for upside.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the practice squad, what do you think about this move he's doing so far this year, late last year, with rotating, basically making the practice squad not so many younger guys, but veteran guys?
Yeah, I said it a couple of weeks ago when they announced the practice squad, and I'm like, man, we have a practice squad that really doesn't have any holes in it. I mean, like, we have like the best practice squad. I think they were voted the best practice squad in the league as far as talent is concerned. A good mix of veterans and then young players. You look at a guy like Tom Kennedy, who's been a practice squad hero for a long time, but you look at him and you look at his talent. And I was talking about looking at the receivers that we have on the practice squad. You look at that receiver room and the practice squad, you have every type of receiver in that group. You have the speedy, shifty guy with Tom Kennedy. Then you have the guy that can take the top off defense with Tim Patrick. And then you have a guy who can play possession with Allen Robinson. And then, of course, Donovan Peoples-Jones, who's known to do a little bit of everything. So you have a room full of veteran receivers that can really mimic anything they're going to face in the season.
So now let's move on from that and talk about this weekend's matchup. Pretty big matchup, I would think, if you're the Detroit Lions, because it's NFC. It might not be NFC North, but you are setting up for your future with the seeding. So when you look at the Bucs, what would you say are some of their strengths and maybe a few of their weaknesses?
Strength is their passing game, of course. You look at what they have back there. Baker Mayfield, he has his flaws, but he's a good quarterback. I mean, he's not a top tier 1 or 2 quarterback, but he's a solid 3. And if you give him time, he can eat defenses apart. So he can be, when he's accurate, and he can make plays with his legs. So you look at that. Of course, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, those guys can eat you up, if given time. On the defensive side of the ball, that front 7 is crazy. With Levante David, Vita Vea. So they have good stars at each level, except for this week where the biggest star in their secondary is out, which is
Right.
Antoine Whitfield Jr. Because you look at it, that's 3 all-pro level players at each level with Vita Vea, and then getting rid of the linebacker, Levante David, and then Antoine Whitfield. So they're a deep team. And one of the biggest advantages that they have over teams in the league is that their head coach is a Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator. I mean, Todd Bowles plays a hell of a defense, and no matter who's down, he's going to make sure his guys are ready to play.
So the Lions, obviously, their offense, game one, hey, shaking off the rust and everything. You saw some flashes here and there. You saw some other times where it just really seemed to bog down. If you're Todd Bowles, you know that this Detroit Lions offense realistically is probably going to get a little less rusty with every game that passes by. You've got a lot of guys out of the secondary. Let's Scooby-Doo this for a second. If you're Todd, what are you doing to try to stop Detroit?
Ooh. I mean, first thing you're going to do is pray. And then second thing, the second thing you're going to do is you're going to try to get Jared Goff off his spot. You know, same thing with Baker Mayfield. You get him off his spots, you know, and we as Lions fans know you rush him, you know, you make him make off platform throws, which he's not as good at, and you just keep him flustered all game long.
Okay. Now, conversely, if you're Ben Johnson, you expecting them to open up the playbook a little bit more, do stuff to help free up, you know, St. Brown, Laporta, because I got to imagine we're not going to get another 13-yard performance out of St. Brown.
Nah, they're gonna move him around. And Ben Johnson said it himself. They were kind of just running a basic, you know, offense. Some of the plays they ran last year, it wasn't any really exotic looks from the Lions last week. It was kind of this, you know, here's a play, kind of run it. It was the basic offense, you know, kind of filling out. And probably was some of the plays that they actually just ran over and over again in camp. You know, I don't think they really installed a huge offense for the Rams, and especially with the Rams having the injuries that they had as well. So it probably was like maybe you know, the game plan wasn't as going to be exotic as it's going to be this week.
Okay. So Lions, you know, they've with DJ Reader coming back to that defensive front, if Davenport can go, it should be the first time they've had their projected at least starting 4 on the front. How big of an impact do you think DJ Reader, Marcus Davenport can have on this front 4 versus what we had last year?
Well, first of all, Reader is kind of like our Vita Vea. He's not as big as Vita Vea, but he's a mountain mover in the middle of that defensive line. And, you know, he's going to free up Aleem McNeil to eat. He's going to free up if we rotate in with Levi Onwuzurike. He's going to open up things for the defensive ends. Definitely going to need a good game from Marcus Davenport and Aiden Hutchinson, which I'm not worried about either of those guys having a good game. But you look at I'm touching on a little bit later on in our live today, is that the run game, the pass game for the interior of the Bucs offensive line, their pass protection is a little weak, and it's an opportunity for Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader to do some game records up the middle.
Okay, so you're going to go on record right now and say Aleem McNeil has 24 sacks in the first half. I got you.
Nah, I'm not saying that, but I think he will have. I think the interior of the defensive line will have at least 3 sacks.
Okay, I think that would be a good setup there. It's been speculated by me based on what Aaron Glenn did last year with the defense that he's not really trying to stop teams from getting yards. He's trying to get especially the secondary and the linebackers to jump routes and get turnovers. Would you agree with that at all, or do you think that this defense is set up to more make plays versus try to get stops? Because last week, I mean, I get it's Matt Stafford, I get it's opening week, but we did have an opportunity for 5 or 6 turnovers.
Right. We should have had more. We had the one in the end zone. I believe Brian Branch could at least had 2 more interceptions. Yeah. You look at this defense, he wants them to be aggressive and he wants them to take the ball away. We haven't ranked very high in turnovers as that defense in the last couple of seasons, that he wants to change that narrative because, of course, getting the ball back for your offense, could lead to scores, especially with the high power octane offense that the Lions have. So he wants to get the ball back to Ben Johnson as many times as possible. I can't say that I disagree with that. But you just have to do it in a way that is not detrimental to the team. Play your man, play your assignment, but don't try to play hero ball. That's the one thing I don't want to see, especially from like a Terry Arnold or a Meek Robin. Just play your position and good things will happen. Because you look at a guy like Kirby Joseph, he is a good guy who can bait quarterbacks into making bad throws. And, look what he did to Matthew Stafford. What he's always done to Aaron Rodgers. He's good at baiting guys into bad throws. And he has led the league as a safety, I believe, since he's came in the league with 9 interceptions. He's one of the top safeties in the league taking the ball away.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so I know I did a video a couple days ago, talking about like rookie report card grades, etc. And obviously not everybody's played, but your assessment so far of the rookies, week 1 going to week 2 of the NFL season, from what you've seen in preseason, training camp, OTAs, and now that we're into the season.
I give Terry Arnold a good B, BB minus. Of course he makes some rookie mistake. I have to give him a with the minuses with the 2 PI calls.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta give him that with the PI calls. Mekhi Wingo, good solid C. He made, got some pressures, but he didn't make a lot of big plays in the game for the guys that played. I like what I saw from Ennis Rakestraw. I don't have enough snaps to give him a grade. You know what I'm saying? Like he played a couple snaps when CD went down. So I don't have enough snaps to like say, hey, this guy, he went above and beyond and whatever, but he was solid when he was in the game. But for those guys that played, those 3 guys, I like what I'm seeing. I'm like what I'm seeing.
So, again, sticking on the rookies real quick, Cooper Kupp, obviously a future Hall of Famer. Everybody thinks game 1 he looked like, was it the Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp again? He looks healthy. He gave Terry Arnold a lot of props after the game, said, he was sticky good, he's him, all that kind of stuff. What did you think of the job that Terry Arnold did on Cooper Kupp, who's no easy guard?
I mean, he's not an easy guard at all. You look at Terry Arnold, made some good tackles, but you're putting him up against a potential Hall of Fame wide receiver. And when I talked to Herman Moore the other day, he said that's exactly what he would have done back in the day when he was playing. Would they get a rookie in there, no matter where he's ranked, where he's drafted, they're gonna go after the rookie because he's a rookie. So they're gonna, try to take advantage of that situation. It is what it is. I just think that he'll learn. He's a good guy at turning the page. You know what I'm saying? Like the next play, something happens on one play, you just keep going, keep playing. He doesn't get down on himself. You never saw his posture change. They give up a play, he was right back in there, because you don't have time for that, especially in the pros. You don't have time to be sulking if you missed a play, or it was one of those things where I'm looking at it where like, hey, the kid's gonna be all right.
Right. All right, then one last thing I want to get your thoughts on. So I was surprised by this after the game, where the Rams kind of jumped up, or at least some of their players, some of their fans or whatever, talking about the Lions, tried to cheat or whatever by wearing blue uniforms with blue backgrounds. Do you think there's anything to this at all?
Man, get the hell out. It was the same color concept as last year. Right. So did they complain? Did they complain last year after the playoff game? No.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. The Rams wore the same color uniforms that they wore in the playoff game, and the Lions wore the same color uniforms they wore in the playoff game. And right now, I'm just gonna be honest with you, the Lions are wearing their blueberries because they haven't lost in them recently. Players are superstitious. And I'm looking at it like, hey, until they lose in them, keep wearing them. I mean, I'm not I'm not bad at them at all. I like the blueberries. But to say that they were cheating because of the fact that if that's the case, it will cause the same problems for Jared Goff. I mean,
Right.
What are you talking about here? I mean, so you're gonna say that he threw an interception because he thought that a Lions player was a Rams player? Rams were wearing blue helmets, wearing white jerseys, wearing the soul, I guess they call it the soul pants. That's the
Right.
Yeah, no. Get out of here with that. You can miss me with that excuse because that's an excuse. You know what I'm saying? You lost. I mean, their interception happened. I mean, the quarterback trusts his arm. We've seen that plenty of times in Detroit, where Matthew Stafford would trust his arm and try to flip it in there, and it would just be a misthrow. You know what I'm saying? It would just be he didn't read the coverage right. It just happens, man. Interceptions happen. I mean, you look at the interceptions with Jared Goff. Did we think that John Johnson was going to jump that route that fast? No,
Right.
Because if you look at that play, St. Brown was open. It just happened, and the other guy made a good play, and that's happened with Kirby Joseph in the end zone.
Yeah, and then somebody in the comments section, one of the, because I did 2 videos on it. Yesterday it was because I couldn't believe people were still complaining about it, half a week later or whatever it was. But then somebody in the comment section, or maybe a couple people said, hey, what about Green Bay? Their end zones are green. They wear green uniforms. What about the Jets? Same thing, green end zones, green field and green uniforms.
Doesn't make sense. I mean,
all right, well,
they want to have a Boise State field, and like we had a Boise State field, we had a blue field. Get out of here.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should. All right. Why don't you go ahead and give yourself a shout out to everybody where they can find your awesome work, etc.
Definitely, you can check me out right at the Boss Up Ball Out podcast. I'm coming to you live at 8:00 today. We're gonna do our keys to victory for the Lions versus the Buccaneers. So tune in and check it out. Join the conversation. We're gonna have some fun, interactive. It's gonna be Dolo Solo with me today. So it's just me and you guys hanging out, talking Lions football at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time this morning.
All right. Well, he is the host of the Boss Up Ball Out podcast. You all know him. You love him. Kurt Steele. Go check him out after the end of Lions Talk Live at 8 a.m. this morning. Kurt, I want to thank you for hopping on once again.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
See you soon. All right. Let's get back over to the comments section. Getting over to you guys. And let me pull them back up here. There we go. So where did I leave off there? All right, we'll just go up to, nope, that's too far. Sorry, I lost my spot there. Trying to do something else. All right, we'll pick it up here. Man, Dan, they tried to accuse us of cheating against the Rams. Need to stop making excuses. I will say this, Cortez, the good part to me as a coach is if you already got into the players and the coaches of the Rams mentally that much where they think that's going to play a factor, then imagine when we get to the playoffs if we see them again in Detroit. I'm wearing those blue uniforms. And you know what? You've got an unfair advantage at the start of the game from an emotional standpoint. I'd say, just what I agree. Adversity now, serenity later. I concur. Phil, Boss Up, Ball Out, 100%. Let's see, Bo, the host with the most, the man of steel, Kurt, agreed. Chris, Baker is number 3 behind Allen and Goff. Okay. Ron, what do you got? Go Lions, just real, 103. We'll take that. And good morning to you too. See, Dr. Trey, what did he miss? You have to rewind it, man. But basically, how the Lions are using the practice squad, now called the vet squad, to their unfair advantage. But the fact that they can effectively have 59 guys on the active roster instead of 47, and how those guys, man, they all know when they sign here in Detroit, you're going to get your opportunities. You're going to play. JDC Cortez, I am drinking the Los Angeles Rams tears. There you go. Chris, the problem will show out! Exclamation point. Rotate him in a lot. I think you will start seeing him this weekend. At least I hope I'm right. Silver Server, good morning, Coach Steele and everyone else. Back at you. Detroit, see, Dr. Detroit, boss up, baby. There you go. See, Bo, Tom Kennedy is the practice squad pro. Yes, he is. Chris, activate TK85. They can activate him 2 more times before they have to waive him or sign him, to be fair to the 53-man roster, and rotate him. But the Lions keep keeping at 52 men on the active roster. Why? So you can elevate one on game day or the day before, and then activate 2 guys from the practice squad. Ron, what do you got? Do you think the Lions will spread the ball Sunday? Just real, 103. I think a lot of that, Ron's going to come down to how the Rams play defense. Because I've been speculating, since they're so beat up in the secondary right now, at least that seems to be what will happen Sunday, that they'll be beat up, that they're going to have to play a ton of zone coverage. They're not going to be able to go man a ton, which is okay because Todd Bowles does prefer zone drop zone, especially too high safeties. Yeah, I think you're seeing that more and more across the league this year than, man, maybe since the 90s. So we've seen so much single high coverage, but more and more teams are, I'm noticing, playing in week one and then last night's game, double high safety to force teams to dink and dunk. And on a side note, thoughts and prayers to hopefully he's okay. But man, that he's had a lot of concussions already in his very young career. I'd see Bo Whitfield is out. Yes, he is out, and I can't remember the other corner's name who's out, who's got the broken leg. I think he was like their slot corner number 3 or something like that. Chris, dink and dunk, I concur. Chris, will Bucks double team Saint like Rams? I believe so. I think every team's going to do that until you start proving that Jameson Williams, Laporta, everybody else can carry the bulk of the load. And then as a defensive coordinator, you just have to make a choice. You can focus all your attention to one guy and still let other people gash you, or you're going to have to find a way to stop everything. And that's not going to be easy. Let's see, Phil, remember we have Donovan Peoples-Jones also, correct? Broski, Lions getting lucky playing 2 extremely banged-up teams first 2 weeks. I would disagree with that, Broski, just because luck has nothing to do with it. You don't control what other teams do. You control with who gets out on the field and cross you. Just like playing, the Tennessee Titans. One could say if you played the Rams, you would have been not so lucky as having a, basically rookie quarterback throw the game away. So luck goes both ways, my friend. JDC, Chris Favre and the Pack were good at that. They were. Let's see. Hookadoo, 34-20. Lions win. Travis, Broski Bear will take it. Can't predict injuries. I am sure before the end of the year, the Lions will get banged up also. Yeah, 100%. Very hard to get through the season without injuries. Correct. And the one thing I'll say with the Rams is, man, they came into the season that banged up. Luck, sure, can that play a part? There's also some things you can do as a coach to help mitigate injuries, especially when you start getting a few of them, which they did. Mike the Marine Gunny, howdy Dan and Duke Crew. Happy Friday to all. Woo! Same to you, Gunny. Hopefully having a great day. Chris, what do you got? JDC Lions 27, Bucks 24. I'll go with that. See, Phil, Broski, welcome to the NFL. Bear gets getting lucky playing a weak schedule. This is also true. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can't control who gets hurt. You can control your record and who you play, because if you don't do well the year before, you play a weaker record. Schedule, excuse me. Motown Levi O is about to make some big plays this week. Yeah, I thought he did real well week 1, by the way. See him getting more reps each week as the season goes on, because this guy was balling out there. He did very well in week 1, and I hope he continues that trend. JDC, Chris, thumbs up. Game's gonna be a rip snorter. Let's hope so. Let's hope they pound the other team pretty good. Hookadoo agreed on that, Phil. Key, Chris, then that's you, because Baker doesn't scare most Lions fans. He doesn't get the ball out as quick as Stafford, and he's inaccurate when under pressure on longer throws. Yeah, he's not as accurate. I agree with that on longer throws. Good call on that, Key. Broski and Travis Scott, my point is they are very lucky because these teams are banged up at the beginning of the season. All teams are banged up later in the season. Well, what are you going to do about it? Not much you can do. But again, Broski, you can't control the other team's injuries. You can control your record and who you're scheduled against, because if you don't have a good year the year before, you get a weaker record. All right, let's see. Key, Lions win 34 or 31-17. I'll take both. Phil, hit that like for the New Crew. Concurred. Yeah, if you guys can hit the like, subscribe. We've got a little over 500 people watching from all platforms. If you guys can help out with the subscriptions and thumbs ups, that would help a ton. Broski and Phil's are playing 2 banged up teams. Yeah, man. Broski, how many times are you going to beat this up, man? You've mentioned it. Move on from it. We could say, man, how many bad teams are you guys going to play to start the year? I mean, where's your opinion on that, my friend? See, Chris, Tampa fan, could be. Travis Broski, well, for a team that hasn't had any preseason snaps, it's definitely bad. Will for the Lions, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Yeah, can't control it, man. Nobody's going to give you a trophy because, man, you almost won and you were banged up. We never got that for decades. Dimitri, Baker does not have a quick release. No, and the way their offense is structured, I think, is the other part. They're, maybe they make some adjustments for this game, but they're more middle of the field, deeper field shot team. They're not so much, 3-4 yards and dink and dunk it off. Johnny, good morning, guys. Good morning to you, too. Hey, by the way, Johnny's going to be the host on the show tomorrow, or he's going to be the guest on the show tomorrow morning, so pay attention to that. Chris, lifelong Lions fan, we are looking past this game. That is dangerous. Let's hope not. Let's hope we are not. Key, Broski Bear, the best fuel for every NFL team. My projection for the Lions, let's see, have a hard schedule is not the fault that the WAC teams don't drink enough milk. Yeah, it could be. Maybe they need more milk. Let's see, Phil, Arizona is slough. Rams first, Tampa next, question mark. 2 playoff teams, good teams overcome injuries. This is also true. Phil, no one looking past anyone. Agreed. Let's see, Broski, AZ, no slouch, get real. So who's better, Tennessee or Arizona? And I don't even know who you guys have this week, Broski. See, JDC, Broski Bear, the team that is winning has the easiest schedule. Losers have it tough, I guess. I'll go with that. All right, Chris, Goff down and out, RPO like no other. Fair enough. Let's see, Key, Chris, we as fans can't look past anybody we want. It's not like we're out there. However, the Lions and MCDC is probably taking this very seriously. They'll be ready. Yeah, period. Yeah, I would say you're spot on with that, Key. We as fans can talk anyway about another team. But, I can only speak for myself as a coach. The teams that always worried me the most in my 35 years of coaching were the teams that maybe we didn't foresee as, having a better record or something like that. Those are the teams I actually practiced harder for as a coach, just because I didn't want to be caught off guard by anything or sleeping on a team, overlooking a team. To me, I grinded and stayed up later at night watching the game film, typically on those guys, just because I didn't want to have any risk of an upset. See, Travis, Broski Bear, the Cardinals hung with the Bills, and that was with Harrison Jr. being a non-factor. This is also true. Key, Broski Bear, don't care. Not our problem. Yeah, 100%. Worry about what you can control, not what you can't. Chris Keys, love to be a fly on the wall in Brad's office, 100%. Pretty excuses, 100%. Yeah, we'll go with that, JK. Bo, see you later, Kurt. Yeah, he'll be back. If you guys want, go over to the Boss Up Ball Up podcast after our conclusion. Head over there. Brent, any given Sunday, broski, no cakes. Yes, there's no such thing as an easy game in the NFL. I agree with that 100%. Chris, BJ needs something different this week. Probably will have that, my guess. Phil, Kurt has a great hat. He does have a great hat. JK, Man of Steel, Kurt. Key, Chris, let's see, Mason, you can make a Netflix series just on that. Probably true. Coach Rock, did anyone notice the resemblance between Stafford and Dan Marino commercial with the specs? No wonder Matt can't see in the end zone. Man getting old. He is. He's what, the 37, 36, something like that now? Which, you could still in the NFL, as we all know, play another 5-6 years. And maybe he will. I just think he's taking some shots on that body, and I think he's closer to the end than the beginning. Let's see, Chris, Sweet Lions Den. It is. It is. See, JDC Broski, I know you will stay tuned to Coach Dan and Lions Talk Live for more updates. Go Lions, 100%. Let's see, Broski, you wish you'd see a soft team like the Rams in the playoffs again. Yeah, I'd like to see you guys play the Rams for sure, Broski Bear. Let's see how you guys do. See, Travis, Broski Bear, Rams are soft. Pretty sure the Rams can annihilate the Bears. It's probably also true. Brent, the LA sun must make people older, or must make people colorblind and prone to excuses crying. I just don't remember Stafford complaining that much when he was here in Detroit. Maybe he did. Maybe I'm oblivious to it. JC, Broski Bear, compared to the Lions, all teams are soft. I'll go with that. Broski Bear, what type of stuff do you be on in the morning? For real. A lot of your roster doesn't even play with the Lions team, so whatever you're saying, it doesn't even take you seriously. Yeah, and Broski, you gotta try to remember, Broski, I get you're a Bears fan, but don't come in here and try to put down the Lions. When you guys start making the playoffs, when you guys do something, then talk about it. Otherwise, man, I gotta put you in timeout, man, because you tried to turn these chants into Bears chants. So I'm going to tell you right now, man, I'm getting a shorter and shorter leash with you. I know you went on some other show asking if I blocked you. No, I didn't block you. But you have to try to remember, this is a Lions chat, not a Bears complaint and bitch chat. Capiche? All right, Dimitri. Baker is not the number 3 quarterback in the NFL. He's number 7 at best. Okay, well, I'll go with that. JDC, Dewey, noted Broski. There you go. Travis. Broski, Bear, bro, Will Levis, dang near beat the Bears. Just imagine what Stafford would have done. This is also true. And if Will Levis doesn't throw that game away, the Bears do not win that game. Phil, fake broski, careful. Might be, never know. Let's see, Silver Server, better get lucky than good broski. With that said, Lions have to go out and win the game, which is never easy in the NFL. No, it's incredibly hard at the NFL to win games. 100% with that. All right, let's see if we can get a couple other people who haven't been on yet, and then get on out of here so you guys can go to the Boss Up Ball Up podcast. Brian F., if the Rams end up back in Detroit for a playoff game, it would be a great troll to wear the black uniforms and change the end zone walls to match. Now that would be a pro move right there. I think you're onto something there, Brian. All right, Jeff, Bears getting smashed this week? Let's hope so. I hope so. Let's see, Travis, Broski Bear, if the Titans could score 17 on you, just imagine what the Rams would do, 100%. Bo, black and blue end zone, I'll go with that, or blue and black end zone. A couple more looking for people. All right, see, Great Lakes, Rams game was easy. Laughing all out, that's rich. I concur. All right, Jeff, Texans 35, Bears 6. Make it happen, number one. Make it happen. Engage. Let's see, Great Lakes, Bears had 43 yards of offense against Tennessee's high school football. Moving along. Yes, that's somehow a point that was missed by Mr. Bear. See, Hookadoo, you're a total joke, broski. Yeah, and that's no, it is what it is. All right, anybody else who hasn't been on yet? Dimitri, us Lions fans are not looking past no one. Yeah, 100%. We've been through too many years and decades of down. Don't overlook anybody. Brent, happy trails, one pride. JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. JDC, Motor City Duke Crew. Let's see, Phil, I blocked you, broski. Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. Let's see, Courtney, time out for broski. Yes, I concur. Mr. Ed, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Please block broski. I'm tired of him. Yeah, broski. So I gave you my big warning here, man. If you're going to keep coming to the chat, that's fine. But if you start going off a hand talking about this, that, and the other thing, trying to make this a Bears chat, I'm just going to permanently block you. So you have to learn. You're old enough where I don't have to hold your hand and talk you through it every day. So take this as your warning. Otherwise, it's time for you to move on, my friend. All right, guys, I'll go ahead and get on out of here. Let you get to the rest of your day. If you can, please consider subscribing, make that push for 8,000 subs. Who would have ever thought that? We need a couple more to get to 7,900. I think it's like 3 more to get to 7,900. And then 100 more to get to 8,000. So if you can help out that'd be great. Hit the like button, the thumbs up button. As you guys know, it helps the channel out a ton. Other than that, hope you have a great day. If there's breaking news, I'll get it to you as quick as possible. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all. That's not the right button.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.